Thank you. Thanks for that response. Colonel Parsons, do you have a question on this subject? Because I've got something that I want to do here, and I want to bring you into this discussion. Before you ask your question, and before I ask Colonel Parsons a question, I want to go to Senator Brian King is come in. What'd you say?
Former.
Well, former. I call you senator. And he is running for state senate. We've talked about that Robert Steinbuch is a man of the people. I have seen that in action with Senator, who I still refer to as Senator King. And I'm going to ask you a question in a minute, Jim Parsons. But before we go to that, I would like to ask to get Senator King's comment on your question was, why do good people get into office and then they betray our trust? And
no, that's it.
Can you, Senator King, can you speak to that?
Yeah, I'm Brian King.
I want to get you a mic here.
Okay. So I'm Brian King, and
it's kind of finicky.
So I'll probably have a lot of
here. Can you come up?
Yeah.
We've got YouTube and Facebook, so they're going out all over the state, so we'd like to hear you.
So I am Brian King. I reside in Carroll County, but I was elected to the legislature in 2006 to 2012 as a state representative, which included all of Carroll and the western part of Boone County. So I did represent that. And then I was elected to the Senate in 2012 to 18, which did not include Boone County. But so my first, Mike, the first instance I had with FOIA was when I was running for office in 2006. I had worked with the county extension agents on a Carroll County leadership program. Of course, they're funded by federal funds. We had worked on just a leadership program. I was running for office, and we dealt with each other implementing a leadership program. So then a newspaper out of Eureka Springs FOI'd all our emails together, trying to see if there was any type of using the program to campaign in which they had. And the first time I heard it, it was like, you just got FOI'd. And I was like, oh my gosh, what, I knew about it, and it was like, oh my gosh, this thing came over. I was like, well, I don't know. Well, they didn't find anything. We kept everything professional. And so that was my first instance. When I got in the legislature, I went from 2006 to 2012. This is the staff people told me I was the most FOI'd legislator down there during that time. And then I would, because we had, in Carroll County, you have the river that divides the county, and you have different types of people, let's say, on different things, and they would FOI me a lot in my communications with government officials, and obviously they didn't find anything nefarious or anything like that, and it was just good governance, and I learned through that process, even though I didn't like it, and Mike, some of it is like, it's for good reason. It's like somebody, like a newspaper saying, going off the record and trying to tell you something or talk about something. Sometimes you have personal issues that deal with family members or school or things like that. That's very difficult for somebody to explain. So there is a lot of things that people hide things. We've had numerous people in the legislature, my colleagues, former colleagues, that have went to federal prison now. So there are a lot of different things that can happen out of this. So I think a lot of people get in good, and then in 17 session, we had Senate Bill 373, which would have closed FOI for colleges. And the intent of that was to hide things, let's just say that. So it's one of those things is you want to be able to operate as somebody that deals on personal matters and be able to have confidentiality, and sometimes as you can explain things to somebody and you can talk about it without making accusations, where if it's an email or something out, it seems like an accusation. And somebody can plead their case from their side. So there's a lot of different reasons, and they're also nefarious, but I think that FOI, I have learned, as I went through the legislature, I think the last time I was major FOI was, if you remember, Democrat Treasurer Martha Schaffner was up on bribery charges. Literally got the money in the pie box thing. And so the lawyer for her, Chuck Banks, who I know and have a real good relationship with. I was audit chairman at the time, and so there was things as audit chairman we were looking into with that situation. And so he, as a good attorney does, look for all the information in FOI. And I would tell you this, as staff people came up and said, I never deleted one email when I was in the legislature. And so they said, oh my gosh, you've got all these emails, even from my house days. I did not delete an email. And that's hard too, because sometimes an email you might say something that can be construed differently, you know, you have to explain yourself. But I just really believe that, you know, my first instance with FOI was so valuable to me because, and I didn't like it. I mean, sometimes when you feel like you get FOI, you know, you feel like somebody's questioning your integrity and stuff. By the time I got done in the legislature and saw what happened with the corruption, with what's all with Ecclesia College over there and the taxpayer money that they still will not today produce the records for, you know what, I learned that, you know what, you need to operate in that world because it can keep you better. When you're sitting there like Ecclesia College trying to hide the records, I mean, you know, that's not good. So, you know, there are good reasons why somebody will, as I said, the personal instances, sometimes the opportunity for someone to be able to talk openly and honestly with you, those can be good things. So it's a mixed bag, but the overall thing is the direction it should go is that FOI and our transparency in government is critical. Thanks for talking about that.